Hola, gringas y gringos, and welcome to
Gringos R Us.
Expats with a Plan.
I'm Mark.
I'm Gina.
This week, the money from 2025. Coming up next.
Welcome back. So this is our 2025 year in review wrap up for our cost of living. It's not a big list this year. We only stayed in 3 places.
Hard to believe, but that's what it is.
Yeah. We had an extended stay in Querétaro over by Mirador neighborhood, and then we rented a place. The rental is not included in this because the rental will be its own thing once we get done with the whole year's lease and we can add all the numbers up. This is just about the Airbnbs. So out of the entire year, we actually paid for Airbnbs for 10 out of 12 months, and 10 out of 12 months is the data we're going to present. 7 of those months was Querétaro. 2 of those months was San Luis Potosí, stay number 2, and 1 of those months was Lake Chapala.
Now, we have to keep in mind that the stay in Querétaro was at a slightly reduced rate because the host and us came to an agreement and we're like, he could make a little more money, we could pay a little less money, and so it was like one hand washed the other. So that number is going to be a little reduced over what it would have been if it had been straight off the platform.
Well, and I do show the cost between both. Here's
Yeah.
platform and off platform, so that will be explained. Plus, we have a playlist up here of all of our cost of livings that we've ever presented, and you will find a more detailed breakdown of those specific Airbnbs in that list of videos. Okay, now in 2025, the peso was averaging between 18 and 19 pesos, up and down, up and down. For the most part, I'm going with 18 and a half. And it's pretty much where it was, just for the calculations.
Okay.
I think that's fair. And I'm going to be looking over here as I move through the slides so that we can give you accurate information. So the first stay, Querétaro. In Querétaro, the entire stay per month, all of the expenses, was $3,491 US. That would be an Airbnb rate of $19.03, or the rental rate that we were actually paying for more than half of the stay, $13.16. Now, typically we say the Airbnb is about double what the rent was. Well, in this case, it was a little extra for him and a little less for us. We were good with that.
Very good, because
Yeah,
as
we
you
didn't have
can
a lease.
see by the numbers, we were coming out significantly ahead. So,
Yeah.
and we didn't begrudge that, he made a little more, we paid a little less. Happy, happy.
Yeah, and he included utilities in that. So the only thing we had to pay was one time we had to get some LP gas. That's it. Everything else was covered. The next stay was 2 months in San Luis Potosí for our second trip to that city. The entire stay per month was $3,611. That was an Airbnb rate of $24.05, and our estimated rental rate would have been $12.03.
As you can see, a little higher, but then location was a lot different. So, as with most places, if you want the location, you got to give up the dollars.
Yeah, and we were in walking distance to a lot of things, a lot of restaurants nearby. It was a nice location, and it was a very, very large property. So, yeah, it was worth what we spent.
Middle of Restaurant Row.
Exactly. The last place that we stayed was around Lake Chapala. For that stay, we spent a total of $3,958 US per month, including all of our expenses. That comes out to a $24.40 rate for the Airbnb, which rental would have been about half of that, around $12.20.
Yeah, because in that community, we did see that was posted on the bulletin board, there was a house, not a condo, a house that was renting for about $1,700 US
Yes.
per month. So, between that 1,220 and 1,700 in that community, you could find yourself a place to live.
Now we're to the point where we have this map of all the locations across Mexico where we have stayed. And I think what we're finding is that if it is a high demand location, particularly along the shore, you're going to see higher expenses, as is reflected in this. It looks like the highest that we would have spent would have been around Riviera Maya for.
What a shock.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's to be expected. Best bang for our buck, I'm still going to say, was El Tejar. That house was,
Oh yeah, because that house was a luxury home.
I mean,
We spent $1,200 a month equivalent for that rental, and it was practically
huge.
a huge luxury home with a chef's kitchen. Oh gosh, it was a nice place.
Yeah.
And dollar-wise, it seems like Central Highlands really gives us the best bang for the buck most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that one that's sitting there that says 1756, and that number looks pretty high, but that was in downtown Pueblo.
That was a luxury apartment literally in Centro Historico.
Yeah.
It really was. And it was a beautiful place. I could stay there. I could live there. All right. So in summary, our cost of living, if we were to average, and I'm taking 7 months, I'm taking 2 months Airbnb rate, 5 months of reduced rate Querétaro, 2 months San Luis Potosi Airbnb rate, 1 month Lake Chapala. And the average for all of those was $1,445 per month.
Rent and utilities.
If it was rent, that's the average, because we really want to promote more of what you can expect with a rental. Airbnb is not a realistic number, but rental value, that is realistic.
Well, it becomes realistic when it comes out of the bank account, but yeah, no, this gives you a better idea. If you are looking for a specific area, these numbers will give you a realistic ballpark to be able to go, okay, this is what I can expect to spend.
And truthfully, they're not that far apart from each other.
No.
They're all under 1,500. They're all above 1,300. It was pretty comparable.
And with the exception of Lake Chapala, size of the units were all pretty much the same. I mean, Lake Chapala was a little bit smaller in that particular unit. The others, 3 multiple bedrooms, place to park the car.
Yeah.
So all of these things come into play. If you're not needing the space, your number can go down. So keep that in mind.
And so also going to kind of give you the average of what we spent in groceries, medical bills, etc. for the year. Our average in groceries is $404 a month. Our average in medical bills was $104. Why was it $104? Well, we got eyeglasses, we went to the dentist, and then of course we had prescription meds that we get, maintenance meds.
Now, the average grocery number, if you followed all of ours, you're going to sit there and go, that's low. And that's because Lake Chapala kept it lower. So realistically, if you know what our normal shopping spending numbers are, it's going to be right at that $500 to $530 a month for groceries.
Normally.
Yeah.
But we did pretty good.
Yeah.
Then, of course, our insurance, which we always say it never changes. It's Nomad Safety Wing insurance for our health, for emergency situations. And it is an annual Mexican auto insurance policy. Those run us $375 US a month. Transportation costs ran us about $59 a month, and that's going to be everything from parking to oil changes to windshield wipers, gasoline, tolls, Ubers, bus tickets. We actually took a bus ride. That was averaged in there too.
And with the price of a gallon per gas down here, that's a good number.
It is.
I mean, because typically when we hit the gas station, that number can get pretty hefty.
Except we don't fill up that often.
We don't fill up that often because we don't
that's
drive
why.
as much.
Right. And then restaurants ran us an average of $145 US a month. And we do like to go out and eat, so that did not surprise me.
No, I mean, when you take into consideration that we lived in Restaurant Row in San Luis Potosi and all the great restaurants there in the Ajijic area, we actually did pretty good.
And that is 2025. Hope that you found that informative. If you did, please give us a thumbs up. We do appreciate it. We are Gringos Are Us.
Expats with Plan.
Remember, we're doing it. You can too. Right up here
With last year's numbers?
are the videos that you might want to watch.
Huh.
Hasta la próxima.
Adios.